guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth-given name. Happy Tuesday afternoon. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as seasoned. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Tuesday afternoon, guys. I have a word for someone, maybe more than one person. It is more than one person who've been the outcast of your family. You were the black sheep of your family. Not speaking about strangers here. You were the black sheep of your family. Now, this can look like a lot of different scenarios. So I'll plug a few in there. This can look like the individual who have 17 siblings. They all have the same father with the exception of yourself, which there's nothing wrong with that because you have dynamics where that's the case, but the child never feels outcasted. In fact, they feel like they belong. Well, in this situation, you felt like you didn't belong and you knew it. This can look like a family dynamic where one of the kids could have had like a lot of issues, like they were like that problem child. So it took a lot of the parents' time and energy because this one child always had something going. Satan, you done try. Oh, let me tell you something. I done hit record on this phone to get this word out about 6 times. Now you're ringing the house phone. But I'm going to get this word out. Guys, please bear with me because let me tell you something. The enemy is fighting me. I've been trying to get this word out for the last 30 minutes and things keep popping off left to right. This is how you know when a word is for somebody, but you're going to get this word. So that child who's like that outcasted child, that troubled child took the parents' attention, right? They always had to go, just a bad child, right? Whatever, troubled child. So then that left you pretty much feeling like an outcast. That can look like you being the child who you may have been more so less into things like science, the weather, like you have like that old soul. So it almost as if the parents made you feel bad because you weren't into sports or you weren't into like just the regular things that a child your age should be. So you kind of just felt like the outcast. So you're kind of just in your corner doing your own thing, just waiting to get up out of that house when you turn 18, you go to college or whatever you got going on, right? This can look like the family who there was a narc in the household and the narc would manipulate everyone else to turn against you. This narc can be another sibling. This narc can be a parent. This narc can be just whoever was in that household. But they somehow turned everybody else. They manipulated everyone else, so it left you kind of having to fend for your own self. And no one else heard your cries or your cries were ignored because the narc was narking and already got into their psyche and made you the problem. So you were the outcast. You never felt like you belong. This can look like the child who have zero desires to go along with the family business or even go along with quote unquote societal norms of what you should do when you leave home, you go to college, you get married, you sit on the rocking chair and you meet Jesus, right? But your parents already had a whole plan for you. They wanted you to be a part of the family business, or they already created your career for you, and you just didn't want to do that. And because you didn't do that, and you decided to go your own route, the thing that makes you happy, and it may not even make you a lot of money, but it fulfills you. You're happy. And now they're comparing you with your other siblings who may be a doctor, who may be a lawyer, but they don't even know many times those same ones are the most miserable ones. A beautiful home don't mean it's a happy home. Somebody just got that because I feel it. If that's you, if you're that person and you're being judged based on the fact that your other siblings are quote unquote successful based on society norms, You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Do you know how much energy it takes to try to live a life that is not the truth? You're living a lie. It takes a lot of energy to keep up with that stuff, and you're miserable behind closed doors. But yet you may just be the person who just travels from state to state and play a guitar on the corner, and you might get $10 of tips per day, but it fulfills you. You meet a lot of people. You have kids coming up to tell you how you just made their day because you out here playing the guitar. It fulfills you. It's your purpose. But your parents are looking down on you because you didn't such and such, such and such. Okay, we can go on. I can give you probably about 80 examples that are pinging from my spirit, but I'll be here all day. Regardless of whatever example describe you, I got a word for you. This is your season. This right here is your season. You got to receive this, and you got to know it. Even if you don't see it yet, this is your season. This is the season of the underdogs in general. This is the season of the shift. This is the season where the wealth, the wicked, evil folks, all that stuff, they're being moved and shifted out of the way. And God is literally bringing up the underdogs, quote unquote, underdogs in different dynamics. Everything that you yearn for in that household, that sense of belonging, God is about to bring that to you, but in a different form. See, this is why God has to process you within the process. Because if you think about it, as much as some of those people may have hurt you, there was still a longing in your spirit all this time. Well, that longing is really not about the person, because you already know the person is just the person, right? That longing is about a sense of wanting to belong somewhere. You didn't fit there, but it still leaves that longing to want to fit somewhere. That somewhere is your soul tribe. Your soul tribe can look like a spouse who have a family of a large family, and they're going to accept and love you the way you always wanted to be loved and protected in the family dynamic that failed you. This can look like a group of, I don't know, women or men in some type of mentoring group that God will connect you with, but it's that sense of belonging. So whatever your thing is, right? Because we all are on a different path, of course. Whatever your thing is, you're going to get a sense of belonging there. And this is why people are physically falling off. See, the void has always been there. It was never created. So the void has always been there, but physically you're still holding on to things because it's just what you do. I guess it's just what you do. It's what you do until God says the shift is here. Now I'm shifting that longing and that yearning for maybe 84 years ago that you've been wanting to just feel accepted within your own family, right? I'm shifting that. This is why people are falling off and you no longer care, because I know what's coming. I can't have you bringing those people within, because what's going to happen is, if you think about it, those people never cared. They never protected you. They never helped you. They know you were being mistreated. You cried out for them. They failed you. They ignored you. So now if God take these same people and bring them into your promised land with your promise, then you're not going to be able to decipher, have they really changed? Do they really love me? Or are they just here for the perks? See, you yourself wouldn't be able to decipher that, because that longing is still in your spirit. right? That cliche, blood is thicker than water. That stuff is still in your spirit. So the void of them not being there for you have caused a people pleasing seed of rejection, abandonment, right? So you may always struggle with that for a lifetime. God knows that. So that's why God is releasing them for you, because you can't. He's releasing them one by one as he usher in your soul tribe one by one. All of the things that you learned throughout the process, the things that felt like punishment or God was just like torturing, is almost the feeling of, well, I had this crappy, childhood, or this crappy family dynamic, or this crappy this or this crappy that, and it's like, and why am I still having to go through this crappy life of constantly being, through attacks and storms? But in reality, those attacks and storms were really not attacks and storms. It felt like that. That was just a part of your transformation. Because remember, your foundation was the individuals who failed you. So that's all you know. So you would carry that same toxic behavior, or that same lack of accountability, that shaky foundation, not understanding how loyalty operates, reciprocity. You never learned that there. You were too busy fighting in survivor mode, just trying to survive against everything else. So you never learn what it takes to have a healthy family dynamic. So everything that you felt like God took from you was really God preparing you. So when you lost that relationship or that marriage that broke your heart, God knows that that man or that woman was just like the people you left. No loyalty, wouldn't protect you. So he had to take it from you. Because in your promised land, these people are different. These are the kind of people that you should have always had. So God had to take it in order to prepare you for it. These demons you're fighting. I was having a conversation with a young lady last night via email. Sis, I know you're going to hear this. I'm going to send you the things that we talked about. I'm sorry, I had a long day today. A lot of the things that some of you guys are fighting against and don't even know it is things that has been done within your family's bloodline, and you don't even know about it. Sis, don't comment. Don't comment on this post, because I want to speak a little bit about our conversation. So do not comment, because I don't want you to call yourself out here. But my spirit is telling me to use it for example, because I think somebody else is going through it. So I had a good sis who messaged me. Well, she messaged me frequently, but last night, it hit me to ask, something hit me in my spirit. So I emailed her back and I asked her, I said, sis, do you know anything about your family history? Do you know if anybody ever dabbled in witchcraft and this doesn't even mean anything like the person themselves or sitting there at I don't know, whatever they use, a pot, like a witch or something. It's not like the person themselves did it, meaning they were the witch. But the person who had access to you, in her case, it was her mother and I think grandmother. I think some things she had learned, or she had visions from when she was small that she shared with me, right? It doesn't mean that the person themselves had to been sitting here playing out with some voodoo or all that foolishness, right? But you could have had a whole auntie whose husband was cheating and she went herself to go and visit somebody, right? Meaning, in her mind, she's not guilty because she's not doing it. She's not physically doing it. The witch is. But she's there mixing up in that foolishness, right? That's those spirits transfer. And that's just one person that we're speaking about, where it could be 50 in the family that nobody even know that anybody did anything. These are secrets that they may have never told anybody, but God will show it to you because God needs you to break it. So some of you have these tormenting spirits. It's not always demonic attacks in the sense of the enemy is attacking you to try to keep you from your destiny. Some of these things are dark demonic forces and spirits that people in your bloodline done play out with some kind of way, and you don't even know it, and you're being tortured. Why is it so heavy on you versus maybe the other people in the family? Truth of the matter is, if you think about it, there's probably some other crazy people in the family members. They got some probably in jail, some probably got all. You'll be surprised how deep this thing goes. But why is it so heavy on you? Where in her case, she had things like attacking her. She's hearing footprints and all kind of foolishness and afraid to go to sleep. Listen, those tormenting demons, and I have absolutely zero knowledge in regards to how this stuff works, because I've never been wrong. I will rebuke you on sight if you even try to mention that to me ever. But there's things that the Holy Spirit had showed me when I was speaking to her. So the reason why it's on you so heavy is because you're called. You answer the call. If anybody else didn't answer the call, then you answer the call. So you're called to break it. And by you being called to break it, if you ask God, the higher you go, God will start to show you certain revelations about certain things, even certain people, right? And this could be people who are already dead and gone, right? So when God shows it to you, you are responsible for breaking it. Now, only God can tell you how to break that, right? God may tell you to fast against certain things. One thing for sure is this. You have to do the complete opposite of what they did, that sounds easy as pie to think about it. More than likely, you've been doing the same thing, meaning, not that, but okay, say for example, the generational curse is everyone in the family got married, but nobody ever got married for the right reasons. Or everyone got pregnant before 16 and never got married. Whatever the cycle is, you got to break it by doing the opposite. So God may not send you a husband until you're 63. But if you mess around and let society or anybody else get up in your head and say, oh, no, you got to do it because if you do it, you're now a part of the cycle. So the chain hasn't been broken. So now your kids and anybody coming behind you, they're going to have the same struggle that you're struggling with now because you didn't break the cycle. So you got to be so firm and so solid to say, all right, God, if I'm going to be 63, then that's what it's going to be. Because I'm going to do it the right way. Because that's how I'm going to break the cycle. See, breaking the cycle in the spiritual realm, there's things you have to do in the physical realm that God will give you certain downloads, right? And God will make it clear to you because he needs you to get certain things completed before he opens certain doors to you. See, he can't open certain doors to you. This is why it's taking so long for so many people to achieve certain blessings they're waiting on. It's because there's so much going on. There's so much going on. See, people are trying to just run to the first thing smoking because they feel like when they get a person, like it's going to help them to just ease all the pain, all the resentment, the rejection that they feel. No, God got to uproot that stuff and work on you first. And that's the whole process. You've been hurting for a lifetime. So God have to work on you. And if you submit to the process, then it makes it easier, right? And potentially your door can open more quicker. But when you're fighting against everything God is doing, because it does, see, you got to change your perspective. That's really what it's about. You got to change your perspective versus thinking God is against you. And it's like, oh, I just went through all this all my life since a child, and I'm still going through the. Change your perspective. God is trying to give you what you never had. So see it as that. See it as love. He loved you that much that he saw the things that you endured. That he is now preparing you for the place that's going to receive you properly. For the people who will receive you properly. And I know it's a lot of you, because I get a lot of emails about people who feel like they want, it's almost like if they just have a baby, right? Even though God haven't sent them a spouse yet, they just have a baby, that's going to fill that void. There's a lot of people who have voids, and that void is coming from because you just never had a place where you really belong. And that's where God is preparing you for. When you get there, things are going to be so accelerated and things are going to be so great when it happens that it's going to remove the longing and the memories of all the stuff that you've been through. I don't know who this is for, because this is like, I'm about to eat seafood and I got to download to share this. So obviously this is for someone or some individuals. I wanted to share this. But keep pressing, because this is the season. But you got to. It's a must. It's a requirement. You got to be in alignment by allowing God to do what he's doing. Everything that God is taking from you, stop fighting. And I know it's easier said than done, right? But stop fighting to cling on to things that God is removing because it feels unsafe. He's removing it because it can't go. Your life can change tomorrow. You can be at the red light and meet the person who's going to change your life. That person will open doors for you. And it's going to be genuine. It could literally tomorrow. I wanted to share that. You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.